Hello, how are you today?
Hi, how are you?
Good and good. Congratulations on the film. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You have been in a lot of genres, but this is your first leap into the superhero world. Was it something, were you daunted? Were you excited?
I was both. I think it's not a world that I am super well versed in. But the idea of playing a young woman whose superpower was her mind was very enticing to me. So, um, and it feels like a different sort of Marvel film. It feels very grounded and it feels more like a psychological thriller than the more recent Marvel films we've seen. So yeah, I was excited.
Obviously, Cassie's power is her mind, but you did have to do some of the physical stuff. So, what was it like working on green screen and blue screen and all that kind of stuff for the first time?
Well, luckily the movie didn't require a lot of blue screen. It was just a few moments. Like most of it was practical, which I think is so great for the film, but doing work on a blue screen is very strange. It's it's such an interesting way of using your imagination. And once you get used to it or you understand what you're doing, it's a bit easier, but it's certainly something to get comfortable with.
And you get to do an awful lot of driving in this film. Did you do any stunt driving for it? Because you've got ambulances, taxis. I mean, you're
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
public vehicles.
Yes, I did. I did a day of stunt driving training, and then I did most of my own driving in the movie, except for like the huge big stunts.
Oh, but yeah, the big I'm
Mm.
trying not to spoil it by using hand signals, which really doesn't really
Right.
help. Anyway, what was it like then working with the younger cast? Because I mean, age wise, there's not a huge leap, but in this film, they are much younger. So did you kind of feel like a kind of like a mentor to them? Did that kind of become reality?
Um, the girls are super professional and really talented, and I didn't feel like a mentor to them. I mostly felt like I was learning about like things like TikTok from them.
One of the things that I was talking earlier to SJ is when I first realized it was 2003, I was thinking that's not that long ago, and then I realized it's 20 years ago, and I started to feel a little bit old, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's that kind of recreating that the look, the feel, the soundtrack. Did you enjoy the fact that it is technically now a vintage piece of work?
Um, that's yeah. I feel the same way. That makes me feel old, but um, yeah. I guess in 2003 I was 13 or 14, so it seems silly to call it vintage, but sure.
I suppose when you think about it, then the films were set in the 80s and they always seem like they were so far away.
Mhm.
What's the one thing that you would like audiences to take away from the film?
I think just like the opportunity to have a new experience in the world of superheroes that feels slightly more accessible and grounded and, um, you know, powerful for young women.
Listen, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the film and best of luck
Thank
with release. Right, thank you.
thank
Bye.